Thanks. We've got Liz and Jude here now. The thing is, Jude, is children's clothes are incredibly cute, aren't they? Much cuter than our stuff.
Definitely, and especially girls' clothes, so, you know.
You've got to risk it. You've got to go and pay for it. So you would splurge a bit of cash, wouldn't you, on yours?
Well, to be honest with you, yes. I mean, I wouldn't and I would. It all depends. I think if I had a little girl, I probably would go a little bit bonkers because, you know, they are pretty little things. And although I adore my boys, to have a little girl, for me, it would just be amazing. And to put her in all these little pretty things and, you know, I just couldn't imagine anything other than that, so...
Yeah.
If money was tight, pardon me for being so vulgar, would it be the same, do you think, for you?
To be honest with you, I think it's probably moderation. If money was tight, then, you know, I would probably buy certain designer things, mix them with high street things and probably just bring them out for best occasions.
Yeah,
I certainly wouldn't be taking them with designer clothes to that nursery anyway. So, yeah, for birthdays, christenings, parties, yeah.
It sounds sensible, but some simply don't do that, Liz.
They simply don't. I mean, I'm going to be doom-monger here now, which is always my role. I mean, first thing to say is if you've got the money, you can do what you like with your money. It's your money. But one of the things, of course, if you're buying designer clothes for your children, you're buying lots of clothes for your children. A couple of people in the pieces there said, you know, they're following fashion. You set them out on a line from this big to understand that what they wear, the labels they wear, clothing is important. And unfortunately, the problem with that is that much as you might be able to fork out for it now when they're living at home, you know, one day they might not be able to. So I've had lots of correspondence already this morning from people saying, for goodness sake, let's be sensible. They're kids. What do you want to put them in expensive? Whether you can afford it or not is actually almost secondary to the point. It's your money. You do what you like with it. It's sort of to do with setting these kids on a path of clothing being important, and that's not helpful. By the way, it's also environmentally disastrous if we're going to all these shops and buying loads and loads of clothes and throwing them away again. Yeah. I've still got clothes in my attic that my mum knitted for me and gave to me that I then put my children in.
You can recycle them, you see. I have to say, I've done awfully well out of my friends, Vicky White particularly. She buys designer clothes. Really is the best
Hooray for Vicky White.
I'm naming her because
to
I'm
ensure it continues.
I'm trying to make sure she keeps on delivering. I mean, you know, you can recycle the clothes and pass them on, can't you? But I take your point. The pressure is there, isn't it, for mums in lots of different ways. And are we just adding to the pressure mums are under, that they've got to feed them properly and bring them up properly? And oh my goodness, now they've got to be trendily and beautifully dressed too.
Yeah, I mean, you know, also as well, I think it's important to point out that a lot of these celebrities that do dress their children in designer clothes, half the time, a lot of it they haven't had to spend that money on. They get it given to them. It's fantastic marketing. Yeah. So there is, you know, a big a big illusion out there for a lot of people, and they think that we actually go out there and spend all this money on designer clothes, but we don't. So.
OK, well, let's get a few viewer comments then. Carly from Manchester says, these women have worked hard to earn their money, so they should be free to spend it how they wish. If I had their bank balance, my kids would be dripping in designer gear too. While Becky Davis says, I hate seeing parents buying their kids clothes that other kids have already worn. I hardly ever treat myself, but my little girl gets everything I can afford.
That is a dreadful... And Francis Paul said, isn't it what parents are meant to do? Sacrifice themselves for their children.
But it's not sacrificing. This is the weird thing. There is no sacrifice. You're there as a parent. You're there to teach your kids how to survive in the world and get on. And if you teach them that the labels that they wear is important, that's the message, and it's going to come back and bite them later. You're doing them no favours.
It's definitely parenting as well, isn't it? It's making sure that they are aware that they have to respect.
Well, it's an interesting debate. Thanks so much for getting involved. Thanks for you at home as well for your